Good afternoon, this is David Wendell with Bushcraft on Fire, and we're pleased to be with you for another video. Today I thought that we would come out. I've got my pack loaded up with about what I'm going to be carrying on the minimalist camp. By the way, if you're interested in getting in on the minimalist camp, we have 2 spots left open. It's been filling up pretty quickly, so don't hold off. If you want to get in, you need to send your registration form in. But what I thought that I would do is show you how quickly and easily you could set up a base camp. This will be very similar to the camp that I'm going to be setting up out there in the bush at the minimalist camp. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now the first thing that I want to do, because I've been hiking in perhaps 3, 5, 6 miles, is I want something that's going to give me something warm to drink to, get me hydrated again. The weather outside today is about 60, 61 degrees. A little bit chilly, but it actually feels pretty nice. And so we're going to set up some scenarios. Now you can see the brush around me, and there's a lot of leaf debris. There's a lot of different kind of branches and twigs and roots and all different things. And so I really don't want to start a fire out here that's going to catch the woods on fire. So what I thought that I would do today for demonstration purposes is bring some equipment along that would help me to be able to set up a quick fire. Now normally I might set up my shelter first if I thought there was any danger. We're not supposed to get any rain today. It takes me about 3 to 4 minutes to set up the shelter, which you'll see in a minute. So there's no need to do that. So the first thing I want to do is to make a fire. Tom Shiaka from CampingSurvival.com sent me a couple of little items that I'm going to demonstrate today while we're out here. One of them is this Innovative Products folding camp stove. This is a neat little thing. It takes a little bit of trick to get open, but once you get that open, it contains your fire for you. It allows you to go ahead, build a fire inside. It has a feed slot on the outside that you can keep open, or that you can partially close or totally close, depending upon how much airflow that you want in there. So I thought what we'd do is to build our fire in this today so that we didn't light the woods on fire. So I just cleared a spot here on the floor, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to get a few small things, some twigs, some things that'll snap real easy, build a little bit of a fire here, and once I do, we'll be right back with you to show you how it works. Now I filled my canteen with water before I came out here, so I have a quart of water with me. But one of the other things that Camping Survival sells is Polar Pure. This is a great little water purifier. It's got a 1-ounce bottle and 8 grams of resublimated iodine crystals inside. You just pour your water in and you can purify your water. It's kind of neat because if you can see in there, there's a little tube, and if you look through the bottle you may be able to see it. That tube actually keeps the crystals from coming back out with you, so all you get after you let that set for about 20 minutes is your dead water, iodined water. But I don't need that today, as I said, so we'll put that away. And what I'm going to do here is use this product by Innovative Tools. That's the fire stove, and you guys may have seen this before. I'm just going to start a small fire. Now to do that, another product Tom carries are these Swedish fire steels, and these are the real ones to light my fire, and this is the Army model, which is a little bit bigger. For today, I'm just going to go ahead and use the small one to get this fire going. I always carry some cotton balls, but you can use any kind of natural tinder. Get that cotton ball ready, and I've got plenty of tinder around here to catch fire, so I'll break that cotton ball open. Now I'm going to actually light the cotton ball outside here and then put my small tinder on top once I get that lit. So we're going to get that going. Alright, now what I've done, I've turned my fire around a little bit because the wind's coming out of the north. And I've put a little bit of twigs on the bottom just to get started. I've got my cotton ball here. I'm going to light it right in the opening way. And then I'll push it in, use some more small twigs on there. A very effective and quick way to get a fire going out in the bush. Okay, and we'll just add some small stuff on there. And once we get this fire going pretty strong, we can get our water on there, put some tea in there, and get our tea going. In the meantime, we'll get our camp set up while it's boiling away. So let me add a few sticks in here, get this fire really blazing, and we'll be back with you. Now, one of the things that I did was I shut this door down, and I'm loading my sticks from the top. The reason for that, it forces the draft to come in underneath of this stove and to get it really going. And you can see we got her going pretty good now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my canteen, put some water in it, and we'll go ahead get some water started up for tea here. One of the nice things about this stove is that it has this canteen cup set up here. That's about enough for tea. About 8 or 10 ounces there. This stove has little lips on the top where I can actually set my canteen. And I can set this on either way. I'm going to set it with the handle down so it doesn't get too awful hot. And you'll notice that I can still feed wood around there to keep it going. But in the meantime, while this water's heating up, let's go over and set up our shelter and get the rest of our base camp set up. Now, most of you know from my other video that I'm going to be taking my hammock and my poncho, tarp with me to put up for my shelter. One of the things that I didn't show is how I attach my hammock. So let me show you that. These are some straps, and these straps are basically trucking straps. They're heavy duty. These are very lightweight ones. They don't weigh very much. What I've done is I've made a loop with it. Then I've tied off knots about every foot or so. And what I can do is just come up to my tree that I'm going to use for my hammock. I can put that right around the tree. And this will help me do a couple things. Number one, it won't kill the tree. Number two, it's very quick and very reliable to hang my hammock. So one up, let's do the other one. Trying to get that center between those two trees. Get out my Trek light here and show you how quick and easily this thing sets up. All that I'm going to do is to space these apart where I've got the knot, put the hook on my Trek light, pull it out of the bag, come to the other side, stretch it as hard as I can, and put it right into the second latch. You stick together a little bit in the pack, that's okay. Just takes a second. But folks, there you go. That's about as quick as you can set a hammock up out in the bush. You notice I set this up a little high. Once that I sit on this, it'll sink down a bit, but I want it to be a little bit higher. So the next thing that we're going to do is to put our tarp up, and we'll get right to that. While I was over there putting the hammock up, our wood dwindled down a bit, so I came over here, thought I'd put a couple more branches in here. If I get something that won't fit, I'll just open this door and stick it in there. That's fine. Doesn't matter where you load it or how you load it. You just want to keep that fuel on the fire. And you can see that the water's starting to simmer in the bottom, so we've got about another 3 or 4 minutes for that to boil up. So we'll leave that go, and we'll go get our tarp up on top of our hammock. Now, one of the things I always carry with me, of course, is 550 paracord, and that's going to enable me to get this this tarp up pretty quick. So let me get this open and begin by stringing it on the top end. Follow me up there, and we'll see what happens. Well, the first thing I wanted to do before I put my tarp up is to get in my hammock, and I just sat in here for a few minutes so that it tightened all the cords up. Let me know exactly where that hammock was going to rest. So now, we'll go ahead and get out of the hammock. I've got my 550 cord unwrapped here, and I'm going to come over on the first tree, and I'm going to come around the tree just above the hammock line. Now this will give me, actually I'm going to go below it on this one because that hammock rests down a little bit. On this I'm going to use a Siberian hitch. I'm going to use a Siberian hitch. What I do is just come around 3 fingers, grab the cord and pull it tight. Let me show you that again. Just go once around, back over your standing line, grab the loose end, pull it tight. Watch that knot. We'll just go right up here. That'll be tight, and that won't pull out. That's a very good quick knot. So we'll put that on this end. We'll go on the other end. Now on this end, what I want to do is I want to get this cord as tight as I can get it. So I'm going to pull this around the tree tight. I'm going to wrap it over and around. A little extra cordage here. And I'm going to pull that very, very tight. Come around the tree again. Put it the other way. Pull it tight again, and then I'm just going to come back and tie it off with a couple of half hitches. So I just put a half hitch in here, put a second half hitch in. The second one, I'm not going to tie very tight. This enables me to be able to take this setup down very, very quickly. They're both quick release knots. There won't be any problem. So the next thing is to put our tarp up. But in the meantime, let's go check our tea. Well, you can see that our tea water is boiling here. And one of the things I always carry with me in my pocket is a bandana. Don't really want to grab that thing because you don't know how that's going to be. So I'll take it off the water. And there you go. That's a good little stove. That boiled up in about 6-7 minutes, I guess. Not bad. And I'm just going to take some apple cider tea here. There's a Bigelow tea. I'm going to throw that in there. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead, go put our tarp up while this is steeping. Now I know that some people will send me comments and say, you know, you should have used a cover on there, it will boil faster. Guys, in the time that I set up that shelter system, that started boiling. So I'm not in that much of a rush. I do have a canteen cover that I could have used. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this out. What I've done here is just wrapped the end cords around my poncho, tarp, not really a poncho, it's a tarp. You could use it as a poncho if you needed. And you guys have seen this in my Swag Shack video. So I'm just going to unwrap this. I'm going to throw it up over top of that ridge line, then get it tightened up. One of the nice things about a quick setup like this, if I want to, I could put that ridge line through these tarp holes. I'm not going to do that because there's possibility that we can have some rain. So I may want to cover this up by tying this different. Right now I'm just going to tie it out as an A-frame tarp system. And that's fine. I could just put these out, stake them down. But what about if I was going to have rain? Let me show you how I can fix that right up. What I could do is take one end of this tarp system, pull over here, and again, I'm just going to use that Siberian hitch, tighten that down, slide it tight. Now, I have an adjustable knot on the other side that I can tighten if I need to. On the opposite side, I'm going to pull the opposite corner out here, go around this tree, and just tie this off with what we call a taut line hitch. Okay, what I'm going to do here, let me show you how to tie this taut line hitch. What I do is come over the cord once, come over the cord again, come over the cord a third time, and go back through itself. I'm doing all that on the inside You can do it inside or outside according to Ashley's Book of Knots, but I think the inside holds just a little better. That gives me an adjustable way to hold that tarp up. All right, so we've got this tarp nice and tight. Now all that I have to do is take my 2 lines, tie those out, and again, I'll use that taut line hitch. Well, there you go. That quick. We've got our tarp set up. Now we set it up in a diamond fly instead of in a A-frame. That way if we did get moisture, I'm pretty well covered. I could actually adjust this up just a little bit and that would be fine. A little bit of extra room at the foot, not quite enough up at the head, so that's fine, little adjustments. Also, if I wanted to get really technical with this, I could take it off this tree and stake it down a little bit over to the south side, and that would give that fly a little bit more leverage to turn around. But there you go, folks. That's about as quick a way to set up a camp as you can do it. So we've got our base camp set up, we've got a fire already going, got some tea made, and we're ready just to sit down and relax after that hike. Well, I'd like to thank Tom Shiaka for sending me this gear. You know, there's some really quality gear here, and there's a few other odds and ends that I got as well. I got a roll of 550 paracord, guys, 1,000 foot. It only cost me $32. So Tom carries quality gear, everything from backpacks to water purification and everything in between. And I really recommend that if you're looking for gear at an affordable price, that you go out to Tom's site. That's campingsurvival.com, and I'll put that on the sidebar as well. For now, we appreciate you being with us, watching us as we set up our base camp. I'm going to have myself a cup of this apple cider tea and sit and enjoy the scenery for a while. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.